When did you first find out that you weren't the first abortion survivor? Like you said, growing up, you felt like you were the only one because that's what people told you. When did you first find out that there were others?
So, fun fact, it was only about 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I was almost 47 years old. So, go from age 9, being told, to, well, 46, almost 47. I am at home. The world is kind of shut down because of COVID, spending way too much time in front of a screen on the internet. And I end up coming across the Abortion Survivors Network online. And I was very skeptical. I have trust issues, which
Clearly. I mean, not clearly, but like understandably.
yeah, so trust issues galore. And so I see this Abortion Survivors Network, and the first thoughts were really kind of dark. It was like, oh, who's trying to make money off of, things like this? That's horrible. Why would you even come up with that? So I'm scrolling through and I'm looking at it, and I see the pictures of Melissa Ohden, our founder and director, and a couple other survivors on there, and I'm very skeptical.
She's gorgeous.
She is.
You would never know.
Yeah, beautiful lady.
And same with you. Like I remember her saying, I've heard her speak before, and I remember her saying that you could pass people on the street who survived abortion and you would never know. Like sometimes you can see it, but usually it's not what people picture.
Yeah, it's very true. So I looked at her picture, the other pictures there, and I'm going, I don't know. I don't think this is real. I think somebody's trying to make money off of something like this. And scroll down through, and there's a contact us page, and I'm like, who's data mining? Who's collecting information? I find in the fine print at the bottom, there's a phone number. I says, okay, I'm going to call this phone number, and I'm going to get somebody who doesn't even speak English at some call center in some other country or whatever. And I called, and I ended up connecting with Melissa. And she says, hi, I'm Melissa Ohden. And I says, hi, I'm Robin Sertell. And she says, I'm the survivor of a failed saline infusion abortion. And I says, I'm the survivor of 3 failed saline infusion abortions. Are you for real? And I'll never forget just feeling shocked and stunned. And I explained to her, I've been walking with the Lord for over 20 years now. I go out and I share my story, but I also shared the rest of my story of a lot of the abuse that was in the home from my mom and kind of coming out of that. And I shared my story in churches to try to bring people hope and walk people through forgiveness. I've always had a heart for forgiveness. So a lot of times when I share my story, I start right in Matthew 18, verses 21 through 35. And it's the parable of the unmerciful servant. And I talk about the Lord's perspective on forgiveness and how he doesn't want us to leave any debts outstanding and things like that. And I'm thinking about all this as I'm on the phone with her, and I'm thinking, wait, there are more? There are other people who've had to go through this. And I instantly just kind of went all back through the trauma and the drama of being in the hospital for years and, what the doctors had told me. And like, why did they not tell me that there were others? What would my life have been like if I had grown up with a support group of other survivors and we all could have rallied around each other? That would have been a whole different experience.
Yeah. It's so important to have that.
Yeah. So now we have the Abortion Survivors Network, and it's got to be so transformative for younger children who contact our network, who talk to our social workers and other survivors. Now, when you're 9 years old or whatever age you are, and your parents tell you, at least they can tell you, but hey, you're not alone. There are so many more other survivors. And we're just now starting to get a picture of how many more. I mean, I thought there were maybe a handful of us. I was introduced to some data from the CDC. Dr. Willard Cates in 1981 released a study called the Dreaded Complication Series. It was posted in the Philadelphia Inquirer, of all places.
Oh my gosh.
And it said that he perceived that 400 to 500 babies survive abortion annually in the U.S. alone.
Wow.
do the math, which I don't do math. Math, as far as I'm concerned, is mental abuse to humans. That's what MATH stands for. I'm more of a reading and writing kind of a girl. But anyway, if you multiply that out, that means there are tens of thousands of us. That's what they released in 1981. I was 6 years old.
And no one told you.
No. I didn't read the Philadelphia Inquirer at age 6.
No.
Right? But unfortunately, neither did my doctors or anybody else that was working with me. So I'm looking back at all this and I'm going, wow, yeah, I guess I do live under a rock somewhere. So it's time for me to, pull the rock off and, come out a little bit and share this so that other people have a chance to know. Because, fun fact, most of the time when survivors share their story, other survivors will hear it. And worldwide, almost all of us come saying, I thought I was the only one. We now have connected with over 600 survivors through the Abortion Survivors Network worldwide. And I have the absolute privilege of working with other survivors and helping them to learn how to craft their story and go out and share it. And we see every single time how healing that is, because, of course, it eliminates shame when you can share your story. What we hear almost every time, though, is, I thought I was alone. Nobody told me. I thought I was the only one. That's so sad. Let's change that.